Hey guys, this is Dr. Weiss again. Today I want to propose a new deck, a new Saekano deck, post-ban list. Um, the reason I want to do this is because I am a bit unhappy about the current meta decks, let's call it for this set, that are currently used. And I will explain why. So let's first of all have a look at the current decks that are considered to be meta in this set. So after the ban list, of course, we cannot rely anymore on certain cards, the runner, JC, when combined with this level 3. And so this is an example that I've taken from Killua, who is one of the major exponents of this in playing this set. I think he was actually the creator of the old meta deck in Saekano. Anyway, this is the current list, post-ban list, that is used a lot all over the world. Let's have a look. Let's say decompose a little bit the idea of this deck, which is very good. This deck is really good. So all everything basically gravitates around this level 3 Kato. So she has this effect. So if there are 2 or more cards in memory during your turn, this card gets 2k power. Okay, so a little bit of power if there are only 2 cards in memory. If there are 3 or more, the opponent cannot use backup. This is an error, translation error from Google Translate. So the opponent cannot use backup. So it is very good because the final effect needs a reverse. Okay. If there are 4 or more cards in memory, the card becomes hexproof, so it cannot be chosen by opponent's effect. So the it is a healer. We all know these are people that have used this card know that it's a very good healer. And the climax combo, when the opponent becomes reverse, you pay 1 and you deal 2 damages. So a small magic number of damages, which is 2. And this card, if you have 3 of them on the field, it's quite deadly. Okay, and if you have 4 or more cards in memory, so that all these effects are activated. Okay, so what is the usual reasoning that people do when they have this card? They want to put as soon as possible 4 cards in memory. That's obvious, right? So from which basically many of the cards at level 0 are useful for this. For example, the Eriri here. This is a drop search. When it is reversed, it's just 500 power, so it's easy to reverse. When it is reversed, you can pay 1, discard 1, put this in memory, and basically search a character, a game character, into your deck. Moreover, this card is very good because when you place it, it can give 2k to another character, so it's really good effect. So this card is really essential in this bar door build. Um, so this contributes to increase our memory requirement. Then there is this Riki on reverse. When it is reversed, you pay 1, clock yourself, and then you salvage a character, a game character, from the waiting room. And then they have introduced post-ban list because before the ban list there was the runner who goes to memory. It is Nakatsuki that goes to memory, and also the JC that when bounces back a character goes also to memory. Now we don't have those cards anymore available in this in when we use Kato because there is a choice of 3 ban, let's say, and so people have have used this card, this Michiru. Basically, this card is blue, first of all, so it's a little bit off color with respect to the other cards, which is green and red. So when this card attacks, choose one of your other game character, and this turn it gets plus 1k. And then when during the opponent's turn, when this card becomes reverse, you pay one, you rest it, and then at the beginning of the next encore step, you send this card to memory. So this card is really good because it lives one more turn after it is killed, and it goes to memory, increasing the memory requirement for the final Kato finisher. Another thing to notice is that this Kato finisher is so good because of the existence of this card here, this brainstorm assist, and this level assist. Okay, so this brainstorm here, this is a search brainstorm that if you are level 1 or higher, you can change it instantly into this brainstorm, or again a search brainstorm, which is also an assist, 500 assist in front. And if you are level 2 or higher, you can change the level 1 assist, this one, into this level 2. Okay, so by paying one stock, you can put this card to memory and this card to memory to change it into the Kato if you are level 3. So this chain of changes, it's really, let's say, it's really good because you spend little stock during the game. You always have not much stock during the game because it is sufficient to make these changes into the level 3. And when this level 2 here changes into this level 3, the level 3 heals anyway, because when this card is placed on stage from hand or by effect of this Megumi level 2, anyway, this Kato heals damage from your clock. So this is really good. And the thing is that people wants to put as fast as possible the cards in memory in order to satisfy the requirement of the Kato. Okay. However, in my opinion, it is not necessary to be so fast in the let's say inputting cards in memory. You can do this gradually during the game. You will have at least 4 cards in memory. Another thing I want to mention before we move on into my version of the deck is this event here. This event here is considered to be broken because it is free. So it's a 1-0 event, so it's completely free. You choose 2 characters, you rest them, and then you search a character in your deck and put it to your hand, and then you put a character from your stock, from your waiting room to stock. So it gives you +1 in hand and +1 in stock for free. Okay, so it is a broken event. However, it is not searchable, and I was wondering whether this is really necessary to use this event. Isn't it, I mean, the question I asked myself is, isn't it more useful to use characters rather than this event? Because in my games without this event, I never run into stock problems or hand problems because the chain of changes is so cheap in a sense that you don't need to use this event somehow. Of course, this event helps a lot if you are in certain critical situations that you have to use, for example, the free fresh backup and you run out of stock and so on. But in general, if the game is normal and nothing really serious happened, this event is not necessary. Another thing I want to mention is this level 1 combo. This level 1 is really excellent because it combos with the gold, and so it is easy to loop. If you have 2 or more other game characters, these cards get +1k. And when basically it has twin drive with the combo, with the climax. So you pay 1 and you trigger twice. So you can get rid of the climaxes that you stocked during the attacks, during previous attacks. And bounces back to hand if it is frontal attacked. So in a sense, you always have plenty of cards in your hand if the game is going normally. So therefore, this event, which gives you a +1 in stock, a +1 in hand, it's not tremendously, let's say, necessary in the deck. Okay, so this was my first consideration. Of course, it is an excellent event, and I mean, if you, this is why basically this deck is considered to be really strong. Another thing I want to mention is this card here. This card is very popular now because it can really put the opponents in serious difficulties if they use, for example, lots of door climaxes. So this is an anti-salvage. It gives 1k to the level 0 in front, and during the attack phase, when your opponents basically during the attack phase, when you or your opponent salvage a character from the waiting room to your hand, all that player's characters get -3 soul. So basically, they can't do any damage anymore. So it basically prevents the use of this trigger here, the door trigger, or effects of the opponent's combo that salvage characters. So this could be extremely damaging to your opponent, but it is also damaging to you because if you trigger door, you can't salvage a character during the attack. Okay, of course, this is only during the attack phase. So, in my opinion, this card is a bit, how to say, there are really two different kind of people two different kind of opinions about these cards. To have it in one copy could be okay in certain matchups. However, it is also true that it doesn't go very well with the logic of the door of the deck. So, in my view, in the deck that I propose, I exclude this card from the list. Okay, because I found it a little bit anti-synergistic what we want to do in our plan. But of course, if you like it, you can still introduce one copy inside. It is also true that this card is anti-synergistic because in the back row we want to have a couple of these brainstorms. We want to have two because we need to have the chain of changes um, from this to this and from this to this. So you know the back row is already occupied by these cards. So if you put this card all the time in your back row, it's not so good because you can do only one change. Okay, so yeah, it conflicts a bit. Although I have to admit that it could be extremely powerful in certain specific matchups, especially against eight door decks, which like Konosuba, these kind of things. Um, okay, so now let me switch to another um, deck that another, let's say, concept that you see in Saekano. So most of the cards are pretty similar. Now we have the new addition of this card, of this level 3 here. Okay, so this level 3. Now, why is this level 3, which doesn't have a climax combo present in this list? It's because of this card here, this Rize. So this is a normal Rize, so when this card becomes reverse, you may reveal 3 cards from your deck if you can select a character and discard a card from your hand. But it has also this other effect. When this card is placed into your waiting room from stage, so when it dies, you may choose one of these Megumi here, ideal girl Megumi, and put it in memory. So it kind of accelerates again the memory requirements for to have 4 cards for this combo here. I find this a little bit absurd, to be honest, because why do you want to put a level 3 in memory just to just because you are impatient and put as many cards as possible in memory as quickly as possible, it doesn't feel right, in my opinion. It doesn't feel right. So what I want to do is to basically build the memory slowly but surely, in such a way that if when I eliminate the event and all these weird cards that are okay, the only function of these cards is just to have memory, just to put cards in memory, but to replace them with something more useful. And when I say something more useful, I mean cards that are able to search for the combo and its climax. Okay, because the main target, the main aim of the level 0 is that you have to search 3 copies of the combo and the climax as quickly as possible and loop it over and over again. Okay, so I don't want to have dead cards in my hand at later stages of the game. I want to have something that can help me a little bit at all stages of the game, and that could be basically help me retrieve the pieces I want as fast as possible. So the memory build will be slower, but we will be able to build our hands more effectively. So this is the list I propose. So this is the list, which you can find also in the Anchor Decks link below. So first of all, we have, let's go through all the cards slowly. So 4 copies of this arity. We have seen this is a drop search that goes to memory. So this is you have to use it at the beginning of the game, even if you crash it, doesn't matter, to search for your level 1 combo. This one. Okay, so search as much as possible if you can this level 1 combo. Of course, also other level 0 cards that you might need if you are, for example, locked at level 0. So this, ideally, if you manage to put a couple of them when you are at level 0, it would be really good. This gives 2k when play on play, so it could really help you to kill effectively the opponent's level 0 characters. Then we have 2 copies of the Amagi. This card is basically it's a normal Amagi. So when you place the climax, usually it's placed on the back stage, but you can put it also on the front. You pay 1 when the climax is placed, and you look at 4 cards from the top of the deck, and you choose a character and put it to hand. So this is used to mill, to look for you know for the level 1 combo, and it bounces back to hand and gives 1k to a piece until the end of the opponent's turn. So this is a really good card. It conflicts a little bit again if you put it on the back with this brainstorm assist and with this level assist that makes the change, because again, as I said, you want 2 of these things on the back. Then at the moment you make the change, probably you change only one of them because you still want to have a brainstorm on the field, and then one of them becomes this level 2, and then you start playing with these changes, but you need 2 of them on the back. So this one, let's say, it conflicts a little bit, because if you put it in the back and you use it over and over again, you lose the opportunity to make these changes for the brainstorm. But it is still a very good card, and it allows you to mill the deck if you are in difficulty. Okay. Then we have 3 of these Riki on reverse. So on reverse, you pay 1, you clock yourself, you choose a game character in your waiting room, and you put this to memory. So this is also very good if because all this deck basically allows you only to search the deck. So this is one of the few cards that allows you to actually access the waiting room if the Kato level 1 combo ends up there. Okay. Then we have 3 copies of these Ridze. Now this is the red Ridze, not the green Ridze that we've seen previously. So it is 2500 power, and when on reverse you look at 3 cards of your deck, and you can choose a game character and discard a card. So this is our main filter. It allows you to mill the deck, and basically it has an extra effect that can be used at all levels of the game. You can put these standing cards, you pay once, put these standing cards into memory, and you retrieve from the waiting room the Kato level 3, this one. So another card that goes to memory, and it can go at all levels, and it can be useful to mill at all levels. So it's not just a wasted card that can be used only at level 0. Um, there are 2 copies of this very important card, of this twin drive. This twin drive, so of course this is just a normal twin drive, but it has also an extra effect. You can place a card from a hand to the clock when it is placed on the stage. This, in a sense, has several. This card is important because it has several roles. First of all, the twin drive allows you at level 0 to try to trigger as much as possible the gold climax, so that you can take it to hand and then use it immediately at level 1 for the combo. Okay, so this is very important card that allows you, in a sense, to search for the climax, for the gold climax, okay, for the bar. Um, the other effect, to put a card from hand to stock, in a sense replaces the the event, or part of the effect of the event. So in a sense, this card, it is extremely useful at the beginning of the game, but also later if you need a stock. Okay, and since the Kato bounces back to hand, if you need a stock, you can just put a card from your hand to stock, and have that little single stock that you needed to make the changes, the chain of the changes into the Kato level 3. So I found these cards really good in this particular deck when when you have this gold bar that combos with this level 1. Okay, so to make it as much repeatable as possible. Then I have 1 copy of this promo card. This promo card basically has the same effect of the Eriri, but it has also a different timing. So when this card attacks, you can pay the cost. So pay 1, discard the card to the waiting room, and search your deck. So if you don't have the stock initially, you can attack with another character, and then you attack with this one as you search immediately your level 1 or whatever else you need to have in hand. Okay, so the timing of this makes it something like let's say that helps also the search for this level 1 combo. Okay, so it's kind of complementary to the Eriri. Okay, so I found this pretty useful as a single copy in the deck, and it's also green. Then we have 2 search brainstorms. We don't need more than 2 because there's plenty of brainstorms here at level 1. So if you don't manage to retrieve it at level 0, you can retrieve it at level 1. Of course, the change is very useful because the change can be done at level 1 and instantly without doing anything, not in the climax phase, but at any moment of the game, or the main phase. You can, of course, use the brainstorm twice. First, you use it at level 0, then you make the change of the rested brainstorm, and then appears this in a standing position, and you use it again. So you can brainstorm twice with the same card in a sense. Okay, after you make the change. This is what makes this this change so good. And then I have 1 copy of this card. This card turned out to be quite important. This type of effect is not, let's say, extremely good in other types of decks, but when you have a repeatable this one, a repeatable combo, a combo that must be repeated to be good, this kind of cards that takes a card from the clock is becomes better. Okay, so first of all, when this card is placed on stage from your hand, choose one of your characters, and during this turn it gets plus 1k, and then you discard the card, you retrieve a character, a game character from your clock, and then you clock yourself. Okay, if for some reason one copy of this combo level 1 ended in the clock, you can retrieve it with this card. So in single copy, it's a tech card which I found pretty good in many situations. Okay, so this is the level 0 lineup. Let's go to level 1. So of course we have our Kato combo, which probably I don't need to discuss any longer here. It's extremely good because it's loopable, because there is a gold here. So it has twin drive. So if you don't have another of these gold climax in your hand, you can use the twin drive to try to increase your chances to trigger it, to trigger another one. Okay. And yeah, we have discussed this at length. You have to try to use this level 1 combo over and over again throughout all the game until the very end, basically. And the twin drive means that you can also side. Okay, if the pieces in front of this card are too big in power, you can also try to side quite effectively and try to deal small damages, which are even more probable to enter. So one copy of this Megumi. So this is a Shimakaze Kai. So when it attacks, you choose another character and it gets plus 500 times the number of characters on the field. So it's a power pump. And then when these cards attack, this is a good effect. When these cards attack during this turn, all your characters gain the following ability. When this card trigger checks a gold climax, here it's not specified, but it's a gold climax. Yeah, it's specified here. If the card trigger is gold, you may draw one card. Okay, if you did, choose one card from your hand, place it into your waiting room. So basically, when do you use this card? When you know that there are lots of gold climaxes in your deck, and you are very likely to trigger one or more. Okay, whenever you trigger one, you can discard it and draw one card. Okay, actually draw one card and discard it. So that you get rid of all the gold climaxes that you have triggered. So this is in single copy, I think it's pretty good. And use it when you know that in the deck there's a lot of gold triggers. One copy of this card here, which becomes quite big against level 2. So this is obviously a card that is used mostly against the standby decks. So during your turn, if there is a card in your memory, this card gets plus 2,500, so it becomes 5/5. And if the character facing this card is level 2 or higher, it gets plus 6k. So obviously this is a tech card that should be used against the 2/2 standby characters that for the opponent. Similarly, we have a level 1 bomb. So when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 1 or lower, you may reverse that character. So this can be used against the 1/1. It doesn't, of course, prevent the hand encore from the opponent, but at least it makes them discard the card, which is always good. And when this card is placed on stage from your hand, choose one of your opponent's characters and in the front row, and it gets minus 1k. So it could help reverse from this Megumi here or from another character. Okay, and occasionally it can also kill a level 0. So we have basically one tech card against one level bomb against the 1/1, one tech card against the 2/2, and we have one tech card which allows you to not to have too many gold climaxes in your hand, and then we have the level 1 combo. Okay, and then we have the brainstorm. the brainstorm assist. So this gives plus 500 only during your turn to the characters in front, and it's a normal search brainstorm, tap 1, and tap self. And when you are level 2, you can pay 1, send this card to memory, and change into this level 2 here, which is a level assist. Okay, so if you have 2 of these cards on the back, it is typically better to just change gradually. So change only one of them because you want to have a brainstorm in on the field. If you already have other brainstorms, for example, the level 0 brainstorm in your hand, then you can decide to change both of them to make things a little bit quicker. These cards go to memory. So, you have a couple of these in memory already, probably one of these, probably you have retrieved your Megumi with this Rize. So there is like 2, 3 cards already in memory, and then you start rolling the ball with the memory. Okay, slowly, not too fast at level 0, with cards that are of somehow low quality. They don't help you much with the plan of the game. Okay, so this is the philosophy of this deck here. So this level assist here is normal 500 level assist, and then you pay 1, send this card to memory, and then if you are level 3 or higher, if you are higher than level 3, which means that you have lost the game, but if you are level 3, you change it to the Megumi here. Okay, and this Megumi heals by effect of this change. Then we have 1 copy of the free fresh assist, which is very important because it is, with gold, you blind stock, you don't know, you might end in situations which are a bit troublesome. Okay, so this try to retrieve this free fresh as soon as possible, because and keep it in your hand because it can save your game. Okay, so we all know what the free fresh does. You can use this version here, the Uta version, which is less expensive than the Megumi version, but they do exactly the same job. This one is red, the other one is green. This one here is green, but they are exactly the same. They have exactly the same effect, precisely. Okay, this is probably cuter. Then we have this 2-1. This is basically, it has 2 effects. So when this card attacks, if the character facing this card is level 3 or higher during this turn, this card gets plus 6,000 power. So this is against the early play of the opponents, against level 3. Oh, sorry, this one. Against level 3. Okay, so this is pretty standard effect. It becomes a body which is quite large. And the other effect is that when you place it on stage from hand, it's basically the Akatsuki effect. You place 1 card from your hand into waiting room, and you look at 4 cards, and you choose a game character, and you put it to your hand. So it's pretty good card. So it has 2 very useful effects. Then we have 4 copies of the finisher, which I don't probably need to explain anymore. The good thing about this finisher is that becomes hexproof, no backups, 11k power. If you also have an assist in the climax, it becomes quite large, and you basically ensure the reverse of the card in front of this. When you reverse, you pay 1 and you deal 2 damages. So the magic number is 2 in Weiss. So you can deal small damages, and if you have 3 of these, it becomes quite deadly to resist. Then we have 2 normal healers early play. When you have 2 or less climaxes, this card gets -11 in your hand. It heals normally from clock to waiting room, and when it attacks, it can give. It basically does the Shimakaze Kai effect to another character. This card here, we just need 2 copies because, in total we have 6 healers, which is enough. Um, of course, there is a condition of 2 or less climaxes, but it's pretty normal. And then we have 1 copy of this trial deck card. So during this card's battle, your opponent cannot play backup. This is not assets, but backup from hand. And then you look at X cards, where X is the number of your game characters. So this is, I think, important card if you haven't found the door climax for the Megumi. And I think it is also the fact that the opponent cannot use backups makes it even better. So of course, a single copy because it's tech card that you use only if you don't have in hand the door climax. Okay, so this list here, that's it for the list. Basically, this list here is not so different from all the other lists, all the other Saekano lists that you see around. The only real difference is the absence of this event, which I found not absolutely necessary in the deck, and it has been replaced by characters basically that can be used, and it is also not searchable, this event. And a few little variations. For example, there's more variety at level 1 in the tech cards that I use. The cards at level 0 are all designed to look for the level 1 combo as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible. And the addition of a couple of other cards like this anti-early play, anti-level 3 basically, and this top check X, which I think are quite important to have in this deck. So basically, with this list, you will be able to answer um, basically many situations on the board. You can answer, let's say, all the problems that your opponents can put on the board, because there's several tools that can be used in this respect. You can quickly find your level 1 combo, and you can slowly but surely build your memory until you will have more than 4 cards in your memory. So you build your memory compression slowly, but towards the end of the game, your memory will be quite quite consistent, and you will be able to cancel more. You will be able to mill more on demand, and you will be able to have, let's say, a more controlled, less chaotic game than other types of decks, let's say. So we avoided completely the use of such cards, which by themselves are not so bad, but the only function of such cards are uh, to just quickly fill the memory. We avoid the use of this card here, the anti-salvage, which conflicts a little bit, conflicts actually quite seriously with our salvage climax. And we avoid this kind of cards which puts level 3s in memory, which also I found a little bit nonsensical, just you know to build the memory as quickly as possible. So we basically build the memory in a more controlled way and in a more useful way, okay, and at a slower pace. Okay, so if you have comments on this deck, let me know, and just write your comments below. Um, this deck has been tested many times by me, and it works, very well. I really cannot complain about the logic of this deck, and but there's a lot of space in this game for imagination, for little variations. The structure of let's say the backbone of the deck is decided basically. But the little variations now can make a big difference. So if you have this set, try it and let me know how it goes. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.